everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here, and I am going to talk about endometriosis today. This is something that I've come across quite a bit recently, and I wanted to address it because usually you know somebody or you yourself has had endometriosis or working with it. So if you would do me the enormous favor of just clicking the share button so more women can get educated a little bit more on how to help themselves with endometriosis, because this is one of those things that there's not a whole lot of info out there on how to really, work with your own body in helping with endometriosis. Just to, whatever you can do at home, right? So those are the things that I'm going to talk about right now. Endometriosis is inflammation in the uterine lining, and sometimes tissue grows in other parts of the abdomen. Yay! Generally, it's some type of hormonal issue there that kicks this off. Sometimes, there's some research out there that talks about body fat percentage, but they're not really, sure on that. That's not a definite, of course. But endometriosis, it is going to respond. It's an inflammatory condition, and it's going to respond to any other types of inflammation in the body. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going through and just picking your nutrition or choosing, different things to kind of put in your body. How much water, these are basic things, right? But how much water are you drinking? Are you drinking any type of pop or anything acidic like that? Any sugary things? That's going to cause more inflammation. Are you drinking a lot of beer or wine every day or every week? That's also going to contribute to the endometriosis. Also note that this may be worse for you at different times during the month than other times, so that you may be able to sort of tighten up during those certain weeks and then be more lax during those other weeks, depending on how severe this is for you. Katie says it freaking, yeah, it's pretty tough. And a lot of gals that struggle with endometriosis are very frustrated. They're frustrated with their bodies. They're frustrated with the response. It's not the same. My video I did yesterday, I talked about your results and how quick they would come about based on kind of all these things going on. This was one of the things that I talked about, and I wanted to dive in a little bit more because this is something that I've chatted about with women a little, just in the past week. I can't tell you how many women have said, oh yeah, and I have this and endometriosis and blah, 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 and they throw it out there like it's this is not a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal when you're struggling with something like this, because it kind of comes on again and again and again, and it will kick your butt. So endometriosis causes, there can be a lot of pain associated with this, and this is pain in your abdomen. Sometimes you're going to get other pain in other areas of your body, inflammation. This can be pain when you have to go to the bathroom. Just different types of pains and random things where you're like, oh, it really hurts. What is that? Oh, bathroom, one or two, either way. So just very different. Bloating is also very, very common. Again, with all this inflammation that's in the abdomen region, it's really easy for everything to kind of get pissed off. That's just a really simple way of saying it. But that means that even if you're trying to eat really healthy, these regular healthy foods are going to irritate your intestines, causing some bloating. Weight gain after having an ablation stinks too. Yes, it does. It really, really does. Yeah. Yep. Because everything goes wonky after an ablation. So bloating and then other digestive issues, a lot of time, and all these things kind of go hand in hand, but these other digestive issues really can just cause a big issue with how well you're digesting food. Maybe you feel like you don't process foods that you normally do, or you're all of a sudden developing these intolerances or something like that. Why is that? That's weird. It can be from the endometriosis. So the one thing that I will say about endometriosis is that it's not consistent and it's never the same, and you never know what's happening. But it all just is terrible to deal with. And then, of course, there's this other hormonal imbalance that's at the base of all of this as well. Endometriosis can also lead to, really painful periods or cycles, or having things be off kilter there, difficulty getting pregnant, difficulty keeping a pregnancy, all these things. Really difficult time recovering if you did manage to get pregnant and have a baby. Then the whole other end of that is really, really tough. A few key things to kind of think about with endometriosis, because there's a huge tie to the intestines that I have noticed a lot of gals respond well when you focus partially on your digestive system. So really making sure that you're getting a good probiotic, that's going to help everything process really well, that you're getting a lot of fiber, right? These are kind of basic things. Lots of water, that's going to help as well. Things like ginger, cinnamon, very, very good for your intestines in terms of just helping everything be calm and go smoothly. I do have a tea that I recommend for people. I've posted it before. I can post it here below again. It's cumin, coriander, and fennel seeds. So these are things you just get at the grocery store. This is phenomenal for just helping cool and soothe your digestive tract, as well as really help sort of calm down any inflammation in the hormonal area there. So cumin, coriander, fennel tea, equal parts of that, equal parts seeds, cumin, coriander, fennel, and make a tea from it. It's not really delicious, I'll be honest. It's not my favorite flavor. It just works, and it's amazing. So you can sweeten it with a little bit of honey or something to make it more palatable, or maybe you'll enjoy drinking it then. But cumin, coriander, fennel is fantastic to add in for that. So, okay. Cumin, coriander, fennel. And then the other thing with endometriosis is that anytime you do, really focus on your nutrition, make sure that you're focusing on non-inflammatory foods. Gluten is very inflammatory. Dairy is going to be really inflammatory for this. It's one of those things that if you can avoid it at all costs, please do, because you will notice a bigger change with avoiding dairy when you're really having a big flare-up from endometriosis. Yes. A couple other supplements to add in, of course, a good multivitamin, fish oils, vitamin D levels, those are really important. And then also kind of keep in mind there's things like chasteberry, those are really good for your reproductive organs and tissues. And then my favorite adaptogen, ashwagandha, fantastic for hormones and reproductive issues. So, and that's just one of them. Again, I don't want to throw too much out at you, but just a few things to kind of keep in mind, because this is such a bear to deal with. It's one of those things that, when you're ready to really tackle it, think about taking it in chunks at a time, like segments at a time. It's one of those things, it's really tough to do all of it and try and work with all of it at once. It's too much. So getting your digestive system really tightened up and honed in and rocking, yeah, my digestive system's really good. Okay, then target the next piece and, really kind of work out the hormone issue. That's another big thing too. Oh, no soy. Yes, Katie, thank you. Oh, of course. Yes, duh. No soy. Oh, soy is awful for endometriosis. Yes, aspartame and Splenda is a bad one too as well. I can actually talk about some of those other artificial sweeteners and different things, but artificial sweeteners actually decrease the amount of microflora that's in your intestines, which means that it screws up your digestive tract and decreases the amount of nutrient that you get to absorb from your food and everything else. So that just goes right along with some of those digestive issues, not to mention it screws up a few other things too. So yes, no soy. Definitely no soy proteins, or, even like edamame, things like that. You're like, oh look, it's super healthy. Processing wise and what it does to your body in relation to hormone and endometriosis is really tough to come around from. Soy lecithin is, depending on how that's processed, sometimes it's a little bit different. There may not be as much protein in soy lecithin because it's mostly an emulsifier. It is a soy derivative though. So yeah, we can talk about that one too. Maybe I'll do a whole video on some of these other preservatives and sweeteners and stuff, because there's a lot to it to kind of break down. But for the endometriosis, some basic things to start with the digestive system, because you're going to notice a big improvement there in terms of how you feel, and then work on the hormonal issues. So for the hormone issues, again, my book that's coming out, I do address a lot of these conditions and talk about just eating for your hormones and working with your body really, really well. We just had a call earlier today, and there was a gal who said that she was really struggling with her cycle regularly, and I was very irregular after having kids, and so like 20 days, which is not, it's like over a week shortened from what it normally would be. And she has been eating for her cycle and really focusing on the nutrition, warming and cooling. And she's like, it's almost normal, a 27-day cycle. That's amazing. Yes, that's amazing. Oh, that's such a big shift in the body. So I'm so excited when I hear that stuff, because it's incredible to see that shift and change happen, because your body does have the ability to move in the right direction. It just needs a little bit of help sometimes. So you do that every day with the foods that you're choosing. So if this is something that, sounds like something that might fit for you, click on the link that's attached here and you can get more information about what this is about. If you have questions, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have, relating to what you specifically have going on, if this would be the right thing for you, or if you're like, hey, I'm doing these things, what am I missing? Sometimes that does just be it. I'd be more than happy to kind of shoot you in the right direction, or, get you geared in the right direction. But yeah, the nutrition program that I have for women is unbelievable because it works with so many different issues. That's why I'm so passionate about it. So I love seeing women get these fantastic results. So, lots of good info tonight. I will be talking more about some of these other things that I talked about in my video yesterday. So if you didn't watch that one, go back and watch it because it's a good one. And then, yeah, I'll put in the rotation. I'll do a whole nother video on like artificial sweeteners and all that other junk and kind of what it does to the body. Anyway, all right. Happy Wednesday. Everybody have a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.